Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we're back with oxygen not included with the spaced out DLC. Last time around we built a massive oxygen and hydrogen machine, and today we're going to expand on that even further. There are definitely a few more things that I want to do. So let's just jump right into that and see what we can do today. Alright, and here we are. This is the wonderful construction we built last time, and today there are a few things I want to do. For example, right here we still have a Cobalt Volcano, and we need to tame that thing. It is an eyesore to be right here in the middle of the base. It just needs to go. So let's get started on that, I would say. So let's get our dupes to dig some stuff out over here. That's probably a good start. Let's get rid of this piece of ladder over here as well. Just need to be very careful that we don't accidentally get a freaking dupe stuck over here, which is definitely always an option. Let's make sure we build this here with a number 9 priority before a dupe gets stuck and dies. Down here, we do not yet have oxygen, so we need to make sure they're safe. Alright, so this is now dug out. I want to leave those few pieces here for right now, so we don't accidentally have the volcano erupt on us. That would be, well, suboptimal to say the least. And we need to have a wall first. That is the first important part. And to get on top of that thing, we need some ladders. We're just going to plop it right here. That should be fine. Let's deconstruct this here. We need to build one higher. Yep, just right there. That should work. And then we're going to come over. Because on top of that thing, we need a steam turbine. That is highly important. So let's grab that right away so we know where it goes. Where you at, steam turbine? There you are. You go right here. That's where our steam turbine is going to live. Currently, of course, it's complaining. It doesn't have a floor, but that's fine. That is intentional. Alright, so this here is now getting built. Very good. Now what we need is 2 liquid locks. So let's get started on those. So we need to come over here with this kind of 3-part right there. Then we gotta come over right one here, and we're just gonna basically come along here for a little bit. That's fine. Then we're gonna just copy the whole thing over, kind of like this. And then we're gonna build it just like that. That is what our first liquid lock looks like. Then on the other side, we're going to build the exact same thing. Right here, we got to come over, got to come up to here, got to come up to there, going to build 2 more right here, and over just like that. This is what this whole construct should look like when we are done. Only thing is, right here, we can't have that. And then right here, we're also going to build a couple ladders, just so our dupes can get on top. That is very important, so we can actually access this area here on the top. Good. Might as well directly put the bottle emptiers in. One right here and another one, of course, right there. So we got to get rid of this here for right now as well. Come here, bottle emptier. Gonna plop you right there. Good. Over right here, we're going to build 3 tiles so our dupes also can get there. Gonna get rid of those 2 tiles right here so they can get underneath it. And here we have our very, very basic layout for our Volcano Tamer. Now we need 2 things. We need to put crude oil in here. Enable auto bottle, priority 9, and then we're going to copy the settings over to here. We want to have crude oil in both of our liquid locks. And then right here, so when a dupe comes in, we are not going to have any automation in here. We are building this here very, very simplified and something that should work for basically any volcano that you can come across. If it has a really high output, you could just double it up, have a second steam turbine on top of here, just build it a little bit wider. But other than that, that should really work basically anywhere. So to get in there, it's gonna be pretty freaking hot in there and our dupes will get hurt. So we're gonna go to stations and we're gonna grab us another atmosphere checkpoint right here, and we're gonna just do it like this. We're gonna build 2. We don't really need 2, but we have enough space, so we might as well. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna grab some power. Gonna come over with the power wire, connect it into here, connect it into there. Why are we not building one right here? Come here, atmosphere dock. There you go, just like that. And then in ventilation, we're going to grab a pump, or better to say a bridge. And we're going to plop it over to here. And then an insulated gas pipe comes over and up just like that. We of course need a couple more atmo suits. So we're going to go over here to our atmo suit forge, and we're going to plop out 2 more suits just like that. And soon we will be ready to roll. As soon as these here are done, we just got to pump out these areas. So that's what's on the list next. Meanwhile, something else that I want to do, I want to keep on digging up. That is really what I want to do. Out of igneous rock, because we have plenty coming up here somewhere, I believe. Well, at least usually that's what's happening. Yeah, here, right here is igneous rock. So they can build it directly with the stuff that they dig up. And we're just going to build it as high as we can. And the fire pole, We're just gonna make it out of, I don't care really, aluminum ore. Sure. Well, we have a ton of gold. Might as well make it out of gold. We have no more iron. Now that is suboptimal, I just realized. I gotta do something about that. How about we have our dupes just dig into here? Yeah, that should work. We're just gonna have him, well, can't let him get up to here because this area here is accessible without atmosuits. So we're gonna have him access it with atmosuits. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come along with a ladder all the way to here. And then with a fire pole, we're gonna come all the way back down to here. Actually, we can go along here a little bit further, all the way. Let's do it like this. That's fine. That's plenty of area. And then we're just gonna dig out all this iron that's over here. That should give us a little bit of a stockpile. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this thing here in the middle. We're gonna get some rust out of it. We're gonna get some mafic rock. Mafic? I have no idea how to say this. Good grief. But regardless, we're just gonna dig the living crap out of it. So here we go. And over here, this here we're also gonna get rid of very, very shortly. Down here on the bottom, our dupes are stuck. Of course they got themselves stuck. They always get themselves stuck. They will never learn it, will they? We're just gonna dig along here. We're gonna come over to here, make it maybe too high right there, and we're gonna dig through. That should allow theoretically our dupes to come in and out. And then they can build this stuff right here as well. And we're also gonna get rid of the snow here, might as well. And here we go, our dupes are free, wonderful. Thankfully they were in atmosuits or they would have died a horrible, horrible death. That's how that goes around here. Okay, that was actually one too many crude oils, but it's fine. As soon as this here is done, we can get rid of it. Then we can actually start some pumping action. So let's turn it off. And then let's deconstruct this one. And then let us build some pumps. Let's see, in plumbing, we need a gas pump right here. And as soon as this one here gone, we need another one. Come on, get rid of it. And here we go, 2 pumps. We need a little bit of power over there. How is our power grid looking? Potential load 2880. Yeah, but we're not gonna reach that. We just need it very, very briefly. Very, very briefly. So all we're gonna do is we're just gonna come along here with a wire. Gonna hook up the wire here and the wire there. We of course need to close it off, here a tile and there a tile. That's fine. What I'm also going to do directly is I'm going to build a mechanized airlock here. That is absolutely not needed. I just want to prevent our dupes from getting in there while this thing here is erupting. We're just going to let them go in there in the dormancy phases and at no other time. Then in ventilation, we're just going to plop that stuff somewhere that's in here. It really does not matter. We're just going to come out here, going to build a high pressure gas vent. Just plop it somewhere. I do not care. Good. And our atmosuits were delivered. We're now building those gas pumps, and literally all they're doing is they're pumping out all the gas we have in here and create a nice vacuum. That's what we want. We do not want any heat transfer, or at least as little as at all possible. Great. What we need after we have reached a vacuum in here is going to be water. We need about roughly 2 tons or so of water in here. So over here we have water flowing by up from our desalinator. So we might as well use that water while we're already here, right? So we're gonna grab a liquid bridge, put it right where we're gonna put it. Let's see, we needed this height right here. So we're gonna plop it in right there. And then with an insulated pipe, we're just gonna come straight across here, somewhere to right there. Not just somewhere, but exactly to right there. That is the only place where we can actually build an outlet, I believe, if I'm not completely mistaken. Yep, nowhere we can build one, only right here. So the water will land actually in this spot, which is exactly where we want it. Do we have creative vacuum now? Yes, we have. Very good. So we just gotta get rid of this wire here. We don't need it anymore, so might as well get rid of it. And then the other thing that we can get rid of is this here. And of course, all of our ducts. Great. All of it gotta go. Before we put the water in here though, we need to dig out these tiles here. That should keep the volcano from erupting still, because we have these 3 tiles here. But that needs to be gone before we can pump the water in. That is highly important. Or the water will land who knows where. Meanwhile, we can take care of our steam turbine right here. Steam turbine needs 2 things. First of all, it needs an output, and we're gonna make it self-cooling, which is gonna come along here, kinda something like this here. Yep, not just kinda, but exactly like that. And then we're gonna come over here and into there with an insulated pipe. So we're gonna have a radiant pipe, and we're just gonna build it out of iron. That's fine. And then we're gonna plop it down here. It really doesn't need a lot of cooling at all. So let's make sure we get the right amount of water in here. I need to pay a little bit of attention to it because we need about 2 tons, and then I'm gonna snip it off. And we have just reached 2 tons, and I just barely in time cut it off. The water already overflew a tiny little bit, but that is okay. It's going to snip it off in this direction, just like that. The water is going to flow back, and it's going to get a spit out right there. All we're going to do is we're going to extract the pipe contents right here, and then we're going to get rid of that pipe. In here now, we have a little bit of extra water right here, but that is really not going to do us any harm. We may even mop it up, but there's really no point. We're just going to leave it where it is. It's fine. And at this point, as soon as all this is deconstructed, we actually going to turn this here on. But first, we got to do one more thing. We got to get the steam turbine here ready to roll. For that, we need insulated tiles that come all the way around right here and all the way down to there. Here on the bottom, we need a heavy watt plate. We're just going to build it out of iron ore. That is okay, right here. And then we're going to build another one right there. And you will see here very shortly why we are doing that. Okay, now we have what we want to have. That is what that should look like with our overlay for our piping. Very good. Now we can also get rid of this pipe here that we don't need, of course. Get rid of it. Get rid of all of it. Wonderful. Also this piece that's hidden behind here that we can't see right now. Also the water is now stuck right there. Come on. We need to have all this water here in our infinite storage on the left top. The last thing that we now need is, of course, more heavy watt wire built out of, doesn't really matter what, iron ore for sure. And we're just going to come straight across to, where do we have our power? Right here. We could come down here though. It's a little bit more out of the way. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to come straight across here. And all we have to do now is, of course, we need to provide a way for our dudes to actually build this stuff. So all we're going to do is we're going to put some ladders here. Right there, smack dab in the middle. Every other one here we won't need it, at least not right now. Later we will need it because we're gonna dig down there eventually. So we might as well get ready for that right now. Good. And now our dude should be able to reach everything and build everything. How is our excavation going to the top? There we go, looking a hell of a lot better. So we're gonna grab another ladder and we go up as high as we can. And we're gonna do the exact same thing with our fire pole. Great. Over here in this area, we have now a bunch of oxygen. And with that bunch, I mean 5.3 kilograms. Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, look how far we have pushed down the oxygen. That is ridiculous. Oh my. Okay, so we got to do something about that eventually. And eventually is right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this pipe here. For right now, all we're going to do is we're just going to plop it into our infinite storage. And we can do with that later whatever the hell we want. But for right now, we just gotta stop doing it because look at what I found here. Let's take a look what that is. Let's go to priority, turn it up. That is a hydrogen vent. We have a hydrogen vent. And that is actually duly needed because if we do a little bit of counting and a little bit of calculation, here we have hydrogen generators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Here we have 4 electrolyzers. Here we have a 6th hydrogen generator. And we have another electrolyzer. So let's take a look at what those exactly do. The electrolyzer produces 112 grams a second of hydrogen. And the hydrogen generator needs 100 grams. So we have a total of 5 electrolyzers and a total of 6 hydrogen generators. So we are producing roughly 560 grams a second, but we are using 600 a second. That's what we're doing, and those here are now basically always on. We don't ever turn them off. They're currently the main supply for our base. And in reality, we would actually need more of those. That's what we're looking like. So we need to tame this hydrogen vent and put it into an infinite storage. Should we put it again into this one over here? That is the question. Let's take a look at our overlay here. So we have plenty of capacity in those pipes here, so theoretically we could. But does that really make sense? That's the bigger question, isn't it? So we could just put another storage over here. I think that's what we're going to opt for. I don't know exactly yet. I will have to see what actually the output and the flow of that thing is, but we will definitely take a look. First of all, we need to get rid of this vent here though. We have plenty of oxygen right now. We certainly don't need any more. We can also see that we are running a little bit low on oxygen on our second line from the right. So let's take a look in here. We have barely any oxygen coming through. And as we saw earlier, we are running low on iron. Mainly because of these suckers right here. They're eating all of our iron. So what else I want to do is I want to, over on this side, build a couple rust deoxidizers. So we are going to do that as well. I'm just going to plop down, let's say 2 of them. One right here and one right there. And then we're going to see what that looks like. I almost built them a little bit too far to the right. So we wouldn't want to be careful. We also don't want to use them yet. We just want to build them and then we're going to disable them. Put a number 9 priority. I'm going to disable this one here also with a number 9 priority. We want to make sure that those are not doing anything. Because those here are running pretty hot, they're producing a bunch of gas, so we need to take care of a bunch of stuff before we do anything else. So how about we get rid of this one, rid of this one, rid of this one. That's probably the first steps we need to take, because we need that space over here for a liquid lock. Of course, once again, built out of crude oil. So this is what our liquid lock is going to look like right here and all around this entire thing. Let's just say all the way to back here, because here on the bottom, we need 2 pumps, 2 gas pumps, one right here and one right there. And right behind it, we can come back down. Yep, just like that. That's what that should look like. Great. And we want to make sure that none of the heat escapes. Wonderful. So this is the basic setup that we need for this to work. And of course, for that, we need to deconstruct buildings only right here, this tile, so we can actually build our bottle emptier right there. Right, all this is built. We need the bottle emptier. We need to fill this here with crude oil as usual. We're going to liquid, we're going to crude oil, we're going to enable auto bottle in the number 9 priority. Something else that we will need in here is where we add in ventilation the gas filter. We most certainly need a gas filter. How are we gonna build it, or better to say where? Probably just right here, maybe? Even right here would work. We need a gas bridge, let's see, right here, and one right there. And then we need gas pipes, one coming up to here, and one is coming with a gas bridge over to there. So just like that. And a gas pipe right here. That should work theoretically. We will see how that works in practice. So maybe take a look at our power overview, potential load 1800 watts, and it is definitely possible that this wire here has all 1800 watts used at once. Here we have the liquid pump, and down here on the bottom we have this entirety right there. And this one line here that we don't need anymore. I just don't like looking at stuff that we don't need, so let's get rid of it. So it is entirely possible that everything down here is running at once, and we will damage our wire if we hook this here up. So we definitely need a new large transformer. And I think this is a good spot. It's about as good a spot as any, right? So we're just going to plop it down here. We're going to come over with the heavy watt wire and plop it into there. And then we're going to take a conductive wire and we bring it over to there. We're going to set this output here to breathable gas oxygen. And then we need to continue with our ventilation here. Not entirely sure what is the temperature. Oxygen's coming out at 75 C and the chlorine's coming out also at 75 C. So yes, we need definitely some insulated gas pipes. That is just how that's going to be. And then we're going to come through here with our wanted output, which is oxygen. And then right here, we're going to come over right to there. Going to come over to here. And then we need a gas bridge right there. Literally right there. The only problem is, well, we are one too high, but that's fine. Not a big deal. We're just going to plop it in there. And then with our insulated gas pipe, we're going to come over and we're going to come right through here. We're just going to snip it. It actually didn't deconstruct it, so it's okay. And that's what that should look like. So let's hook up the conductive wire bridge over here and actually pump out this room here. What do we have all in here? We have all sorts of stuff in there. And everything is going straight over to our dirty output right here. And we're going to pump it straight out to space. That's just what that's going to look like. Speaking of space, how are we looking over here? All right, we're going to come up and we're going to actually breach it into space. Well, are we going to breach it right now? We can't just wait a little bit longer. That's fine. The regular list right here. We're just going to go up as far as we can. And we're going to start making our way over to here. That is certainly something that we want to do for sure. Also, we actually never turned on our Cobalt Volcano. Maybe we should do that. Analysis is on. Let's see. If we get rid of those 2 bottom things, will it already erupt? I'm not entirely sure. Guess it's time to find out. And over here, we have now created a vacuum. Great. We just need a little bit of automation. Let's see where we can plop one. Automation, Atmos sensor. Let's see. Best case scenario would be over here somewhere. But at this corner here should also work. What is your reach? Yeah, that's going to work. That corner right there is perfect. So we're going to grab it once again in automation. The Atmos sensor, plop it in the top right corner. And hook these 2 here up with a wire. Well, actually, well, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm going to extend it over to here as well. That's okay. And I'm going to tell it to only pump if it is above, let's say, 500 grams. Now we have natural gas in here. How did we now get natural gas in here? Let's set it below. All right, we have once again achieved the vacuum. We set it to above 500 grams. And then we're going to turn on these rust deoxidizers with a priority of 7. That should be more than enough. We're going to enable the building. We're going to copy the settings over and enable this building here as well. Now they're just going to grab some salt, slap it in there. And we're going to get iron, oxygen, and chlorine out of it. Great. And it's working all by itself. It just needs to be refilled. And that's what that should look like. We are now getting more oxygen, much more oxygen actually, into this pipeline right here. Let's slow it down a little bit so we can actually see it. Now we have 1,000 gram packages all across the board, which is exactly what that should look like. It is not the most efficient what we built here because the max pressure is going to be reached. Once again, our pumps are not always pumping out and we only have 2, so we can't keep up with it in the first place, but that's just how it goes. Let's turn the priority here down to 5. We really don't need to do that often. It's better than nothing, and we're going to get rid of our salt that we don't need right now anyway. And we can always make it to something else over here, to table salt, for example, later. Poker shell mode to lime. I also want to turn that on, and that is forever. Because down here in the bottom, I kind of forgot about that. I wanted to do that the other day and forgot about it. We need to get rid of this tile, get rid of this tile. And we're going to get rid of these 2 tiles right here and this one. And our dupes can come in here, grab the poker shell mold that we are getting in here naturally. We don't really have to do anything about that. That should theoretically go on forever, I believe. Yeah, that's just what it's going to be. And now it is absolutely time to turn on our volcano. Let's get rid of this last piece here with a number 9 priority. That should be perfect. And here comes Gemster. Gemster is digging out the last tile, and he's actually already starting to analyze it as well. Great. And as soon as Gemster is done with the analysis, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to lock this door here, and we're going to wait until it goes dormant, and then we're actually going to grab the cobalt out. Meanwhile, we're going to generate a tiny little bit of power with our steam turbine right here. That's all we're going to do. Let's take a look real quick at our infinite storages. We still have about 300 kilograms of hydrogen in here. Oh, actually 276, so we are definitely losing that. Here on the top, we have about 200 kilograms of natural gas left, and our natural gas gazier over here is dormant. Ooh, for another 42 cycles. We're definitely going to run out of gas, there's no question. Alright, so it's time to get that vent up there up and running as well. And now when we take a look into here, our Cobalt Volcano is working. We have first a little bit of steam in here. It's not hot enough yet for the steam turbine, but we're just going to lock this door. The Cobalt, we're just going to leave it in there. And we're going to leave it in there indefinitely. I really don't care. It can sit there. That's fine. And when we take a look then into our temperature overlay, well, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but we got to let it run for a little bit. Let's wait until it erupts here. Let's turn up the speed. So actually something happens. If the game is not saving, of course, as usual. Here we go. And here the volcano is erupting. The liquid cobalt is coming out. It's solidifying here on the floor immediately with a pretty drastic temperature. We see this here, it has like 400 degrees when it comes out, but we have a bunch of steam in here. All this steam here is going to heat up, and once it reaches 125 degrees, our steam turbine will start to work. And it's going to cool down the cobalt slowly but steadily all by itself. That's exactly what that should look like. It will, of course, stay still really, really hot because gonna be so much mass. This is 576 kilograms. To cool that down, yeah, that will take a while. But we will see once it's working. What are we gonna do with that? Let's head over to our vent. Where's our vent at? Here in the top somewhere, right? Yes, right here. Let's take a peek at this thing. We're gonna dig into here. Let's give it a number 9 priorities. Our dupes are actually coming by and doing some work here. We're gonna dig it out 4 high so we can actually work with something here. And then we're gonna dig 2 down here and gonna come along the floor. And we're gonna dig back up the other side. That's exactly how we're going to do this. Another reason why I want to dig to space is this right here. We have solar panels and they require glass. So what are we gonna do about that? Well, we have here this nice little area and a bunch of space right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to research the glass kiln because we don't have that yet. Let's see where that's at. Right here, superheated forging. We're going to get a bunch of stuff out of it. So we're going to research that right away. Only thing that we need to do to make that actually happen is we got to turn this here on. We turned that off to save power while we don't do any research. Now we need it again. So we're going to do that as soon as that is researched. Great. So here we have the hydrogen vent. Now we can actually see it, and we have 439 grams at 500 C. Well, 500 C, obviously that is an issue. So it's a little bit more complicated to take advantage of this one here. We could use cobalt, since we have cobalt now, but we could also use copper. So we're just gonna come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles over. So those are 8 tiles. Then we're gonna come up. We're going to build across the top, and I believe that sucker is 4 high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we're going to come along here. And all this here is got to be metal. That is highly important. Then we're going to come down here, and we're going to build a mechanized airlock. And then we're going to build insulated tiles all around this thing. We want to make sure that no heat gets out. That is highly important, at least on the sides. Also on this side over here, we want to come down and we want to build over kind of like this right here. We of course can't build it like that. We need to leave a little bit of space here. Why is it set to power wires on cancel when I'm building a insulated tile? Well, don't have to understand everything, I guess. But this is the first thing that we need to build. So, dupes, let's do it. Just for completeness sake, I'm also going to plop some tiles into here. That's fine. It does not really necessary because we have nitronium here. But again, completeness sake, it looks nicer. And we can kind of come along with a 2 wide space just like this. Gonna come down with a ladder here. Just need to make sure that our dupes can actually access the entire area and build exactly what we told them to build. I think I just made one mistake. I think yes, that was a mistake. That doesn't go there. That actually comes one up and comes over to here. So this one here needs to go and another one needs to be built right there. That's what that should look like. That's what we need. Let's make sure that all of this stuff here is a number 9 priority. Of course, we need to make sure this stuff here gets done or we're still going to be here next week. I want to get this build here done for today. That is the last thing that we are going to tackle. Meanwhile, though, we are losing pressure in our base once again. So what I'm going to do is let's take a look. In ventilation, we're going to build a gas bridge and we're going to plop it right here. The gas should come first into the gas bridge, and if nothing or if everything's full here, it should go up into our storage. And we're just going to come over here with an insulated gas pipe, and we're going to build it something like this. We're going to build it over to here, and we're just going to come down here maybe? Yeah, we're just going to come along this side here, all the way, kind of like this. All the way, I said. There we go, all the way down to here. And here I want to build a vent on the end. We're going to build a vent here, we're going to build a vent there, and we're going to build another vent here. We're just going to come into all of those vents that I just built with insulated pipes, just like that. And we need a few gas bridges so the gas can actually flow. So we're going to pump the oxygen into our base all along here, all the way down. But in case we should ever get overpressured here, which shouldn't happen, I believe, I guess we will see. And this pipe here backs up, we should still go into our infinite storage. I think that is a much better solution, especially for right now. Great. Down here I turned one rust deoxidizer off. I guess I was a little bit too ambitious in here. I think that one is still more than enough to keep our pumps here busy. We're still pumping here full force the whole entire time, more or less. So yeah, I think we are fine the way it is. Currently it's completely stuttering around because we're building the gas pipes. And here we can see it now. That's exactly what that should look like. All of our oxygen is coming through and getting distributed out all those different vents that we just built. That is precisely what that should look like. And we are still storing more than enough. We have now 5 tons in here. We have now 213 kilograms of carbon dioxide in here. So we are producing an ample amount of oxygen. That is for sure. Great. All right, now back to here. Can we now focus on this project again? Yes, we can. Good. Very well. We need to come up here too once again. That also has to happen. Actually, this side here we're going to leave open so the dupes can get in. We always need to leave one side open, and I tend to forget that, and dupes get stuck, and it's a disaster, and everybody's crying. That's just how that goes. Let's try to avoid those issues this time around. Just like that. That's precisely what that should look like. Great. Something that we will also have to do earlier or later, if we like it or not, is we need to come with our power wire, with our heavy watt wire to be more precise, all the way to the top. So we're gonna do that right away because we need the power up here anyway. So let's just go for it and call it a day. Good. All right, so this here already looks a hell of a lot better. Let's see what we need next. We need a steam turbine, and we're just gonna plop it up to here. I'm not entirely sure how much we need of that, but we will see how it goes. Next of all, we need a liquid vent, and we are just going to plop it. Let's see, how many of those could I build here if I wanted to? Let's copy it, plop down a second one, but we can only build 2. And then we're gonna go with a liquid vent. We're gonna plop it right into here. That should be fine, just like that. Wonderful. And then we're gonna come with a radiant liquid pipe. Gonna build it along here, just like we did on the bottom. Gonna come into here, then switch over to insulated pipe and come into here, just like that. Great. Up here, just plop down a little bit more storage for right now. We're gonna build some more infinite storage later. We have covered now how to build gas and how to build liquid infinite storages, and we're also gonna do solid infinite storage, but that will be a little while until we get there. But for right now, that's fine. We also need some water up there, so we're just going to use the water that we have right here. I'm just going to come straight up with it. And the thing is, that is going to be a one-time thing. We can get rid of that later, and I'm just going to build it all the way over to here for right now, so we can actually get this here done. Reason being is that I built more storage because we have a bunch of stuff right here, and we need to store it somewhere for right now, and somewhere is right there. Great. I am also going to build a temporary ceiling right here just for right now, because we have a bunch of radiation that's coming in, and we see here our dupes are right at this moment going to be here for a while, so let's make sure that I don't get harmed by it. And I just realized that we have actually ran out of natural gas, and we are still dormant for 28.5 cycles, so we need to get some extra power in. So let's build that glass forge real quick. And how we're going to do this is pretty straightforward and simple. We're just going to plop it right here. That's all it takes. Right there. Alright, the glass forge here is built. Let's take a look. We're getting power here from the bottom. Here we still have a piece that needs to be deconstructed. Get rid of it. And then let me take a look at our overview. We're just coming through here with some radiant pipes from our cooling loop, coming over to here, and coming all the way over to here down on the bottom. Here we built a liquid vent, and here we have some insulated pipe. So let's complete this build and hook up the insulated pipe right there. That's what that should look like. We're just going to drop all of our molten glass right in this spot right here. That's going to be great, and it's going to be very functional for what we're doing right now. Apparently they already made one piece of 10 kilograms. Good grief. Well, that's fine. We are going to set it to 50. Come on, build those two pieces of pipe so I can actually set it there. There we go. And we're going to set it to 50 with a priority of 9, so a dupe should hopefully come by relatively soon and make us some glass, and we're going to see what that actually looks like. Let's take a look at our cooling loop. Our water is now at 1.2 degrees, 1.4 degrees. Let's see when it comes all the way back. It is at 1.2 degrees. Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to change relatively drastically soon here. Also, our forge here is heating up a little bit. It's going to give all of its heat into our pipes. So we should already be able to see a slight difference. We're coming over here at 1.2, over here at 1.3, but it's not a hell of a lot. But here comes our molten glass. And we just dump it here onto the floor. And here at 1.4 degrees, we're coming in with our cooling loop, and on the other side, we're coming out with 2.2. That is exactly what that should look like. And our glass is just accumulating right there and slowly cooling off until we need it. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. Not going to cause any harm here. We can heat this thing here up to who knows what. It literally does not matter. And we should also set up this liquid pipe sensor here. So it cools the liquid that's in there down, the thermo aqua tuna, by 14 degrees. So if we set it to, let's say, we want to have it at 15. Yes, we want to have it at above 15 degrees. So if the water that comes through is ever hotter than 15 degrees, the liquid aqua tuna turns on and will activate our steam turbines. Speaking of steam turbines though, we should probably delete some buildings right here. All those ladders and stuff 4 high, we're just going to delete them. Because what we need right here is more steam turbines. We're just going to plop them in. They're not going to be used for a good while. It's going to be a few good minutes until we actually reach a temperature that the aqua tuna starts. And we don't need any steel or anything right now. We have plenty. Well, I guess we could make 20 of them. Let's make 20 of them. That's fine. Just on the first one probably. That's probably most sensible. Let's get this one here a nice order of 20 steel. Just so we have it in case we need it. Let's also get us a little bit more refined carbon. How about we gonna get us, I don't know, 20 of those? That's also okay. Currently we have so much coal that we don't know what to do with it, because we have not run out of coal generators. Our entire power was coming from hydrogen and natural gas. But we are running also low on hydrogen. We're down to 150 kilograms in our infinite storage. So we need to get this here done. Dupes, what are you doing? So we also need a gas pump built out of steel, and we gotta plop it right here. That's where that's gotta go. And then we need some automation. Let's see, we need an AND gate. Do we already have? We have not even unlocked an AND gate. Are you kidding me? Let's see, where you at AND gate? It's down here somewhere. There we have it, an AND gate. Let's research it. We should have that in no time. We need a thermal sensor and an atmos sensor. Kind of like this, kind of right there. That's fine. And now we have our AND gate researched. So we're going to plop an AND gate into here. And then we're going to grab an automation wire into there and into there. We're going to come straight over and connect the door as well as our pump up to this gate. That is exactly what that should look like. So if these here are both true to whatever we set it, this pump will activate and the door will open. We will also give some power over here. How are we going to do that? That is also going to be quite interesting. We could theoretically just utilize a little bit of space here on the right. How about we going to take 3 tiles right here, and then we're going to build us in power one of our large power transformers, just like right there. That should be okay. Then we're going to come with the heavy watt wire over. With the conductive wire, we're going to come back into the other direction right here. Oh yeah, that looks halfway decent. And plop it into there. And here on the top, of course, the heavy watt wire needs to come all the way straight across, just like that as well. So all that is properly connected as that should be. Good. Now the dupes just need to come by and actually build it. That would be highly appreciated, as a matter of fact. I don't know what exactly they're currently working on. I did not give them any more tasks other than making this glass here. But we already made 50 glass. We have now what? 1200 kilograms down here almost. There we go, 1200. Okay, now that we have our glass, what we also want to do relatively quickly is we want to build some solar panels. And those need to be exposed to space, so we're just going to build them right in this height here. And we're going to plop down 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make it 5, 6. How about that? And how are we going to get out here to mitigate the radiation at least a little bit? We're just going to dig over here. How about that? Something like this. And then we need a ladder. And then we're just going to plop up this here and we're going to build those solar panels. All we have left to do at this point is we need to hook that up to power. So we're going to come with this power here over and we're going to rebuild this later. For right now, it's fine. As long as our dupes are sitting around so much over there, we need to do something. That's what we want to build ASAP. Okay, so that took a good while until we actually got all this here built. We have our solar panels going strong here on the top. All 6 of them are now built. Let's take a look at the radiation. We kept it out of here as good as we could. That's what it is right now. And we can finally turn on this thing here to polluted water with a 9 priority enable auto bottle. Let's bring it on. How are we actually looking with polluted water? Oh, we got plenty of it. Look at this stuff. And now we have reached a point where we have 90.6 kilogram in here. That is more than enough, so we can deconstruct this thing and disable auto bottle, turn off all the liquids, so make sure we don't get anything more in here. And the last thing that we now need to do is to actually hook up that pipe that we built. We could have just manually filled it, but I figured I would just build a pipe. May have been a bad decision thinking about it now afterwards, but it is what it is. Let's see, we have 90 kilograms on the bottom. Let's give it another, I don't know, 100 on the top maybe. Should be okay. Yep. A little bit more. There we go. And all we're going to do now is we're going to go over to our overview and we're going to cut this pipe here off. That pipe is now dead. We're going to go back to the bottom, get rid of this one here and hook up our insulated pipe once again. That should give the water opportunity to flow back and then we can get rid of this pipe. Okay, what is now left to do? We need to close off. Well, did we actually research this thing here? Let's see. We did not analyze it. Well, that should be something that we should definitely do. Let's analyze it. This one here, we say below 7 degrees. Oh, it's really warm in here all of a sudden. Where is this heat coming? Oh, it's coming from the water. Of course. Let's set it to 200. The door opens. The dupes can get in and can actually analyze this thing. And once it's analyzed, we can actually start working with it. All right, now this here is exactly looking like what it is supposed to look like. So what we are going to do now is, let's take a look at this vent here. It is next activity 6.3 cycles. That is not that far away, so let's slow it down a little bit. What we have to do next is we need to close off this area. We don't ever want to enter it again, so let's make sure it gets closed off. And then here on the back, what we're also going to do is we're going to build in ventilation, just a high pressure valve. That's fine, just like this, because we want to create a vacuum in here. That has to happen. We want to get rid of all this nonsense that's floating around in here. And we're just going to set these here up as they are right now. We have below 1,000. That's always going to be true. And below 200 is also always going to be true. So as soon as this here is built, it's going to start pumping. Maybe a little bit premature. Come on. There we go. Now it's actually closed off entirely. All of our metal tiles are in. The mix of iron and copper. It's fine. Doesn't really matter that much. Should work either way. But of course, what we also need is we need to replace these tiles here with insulated tiles. So let's do that as well. And then we should, hopefully we can get a vacuum in here before this thing here turns on. So let's see if we can get all of that done. Okay, we have 3.6 cycles left and this here is now done. So let's set it up properly. Below 200C, that is already good. Our pump here overheats at 275, so as soon as the hydrogen gets below 200C, we are going to open the door and we're going to pump it out. We also want it to be above, let's say, I don't know, 1500 maybe grams. As soon as both of those conditions are reached, we are going to open the door and we're going to turn on the pump. At that point, we are going to pump out our hydrogen. So for that to happen, of course, we need more piping. Where are we pumping our hydrogen in? Right there. Okay, so we need to get down there somehow, which is relatively easy. You're just gonna come out of here. You're gonna come over to here, follow along right there. That is all fine. And then we're just gonna come straight up We're just gonna pump it into the same pipe right now. I wanted to build an infinite storage a little bit closer. That did not work out. We had too much other stuff to do. Stuff took way too long in this episode, so it is what it is. Not a big problem. Also, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to build a gas bridge here so that stuff actually comes together as it should. So we're going to plop that one right here. We're going to build the insulated gas pipe, not like this, kind of like this. And then we just snip it off right there. That should work a hell of a lot better, I believe. Let's take a look because I'm pretty sure, yeah, we are running low. We are down to 25 kilograms. That's actually perfect timing that that thing is coming online. How about you up here? 5.2 cycles dormancy. Yeah, we also looking forward for that one to come back online. All right, here we are. The hydrogen vent is doing its thing, and here we have tons and tons of hydrogen at a relatively high temperature. It's going to heat up its surroundings, it's going to heat up the water, which gets absorbed by our steam turbine once we get steam out of it. And it's not going to happen immediately, but it's going to happen relatively soon. Let's turn up the speed and let's see what we are looking at here. And this here is working as intended. As long as we are below 200 C, we are pumping it through the entire base. Yep, we are coming down here with a bunch of hydrogen, extra hydrogen. Wonderful, that is exactly what we need. That is great. That is literally exactly what that should look like. We are currently pretty cold, but it will be just a tiny little bit until all these metal tiles here are heated up. This one here we cannot pick up because you're stuck, so we're gonna leave you alone. But other than that, let's watch it. I'm gonna let it run for a couple more cycles or so, and then we will see what it looks like. Meanwhile, while we wait, we can also take a look at our Cobalt Volcano. I kind of forgot about that thing, and it's dormant in 1.3 cycles. And over here, now you can see why we built it this way. I did not want to get this, let this heat here out. This heavy watt wire right here heats up to 18 degrees, and then the heavy joint plate is basically the temperature of the surrounding. That is the only reason why this here is built the way it is, just to keep the heat where it's supposed to be. We're still making a little bit of power in here, and by now we have 13 tons of cobalt in there. Literally 13 tons. When this thing here goes idle, we're gonna open up this airlock here, let our dupes in, and voila, there we go. This is a really simple Cobalt Volcano Tamer, really not a hell of a lot of work. It's really simple, it can be built really early on, you don't need any advanced automation, nothing like that. All you need is 2 liquid locks, preferably crude oil though. You see it has 133 degrees. This one over here only is 14, and that is once again, I don't want to let all this heat here out. This is why we have a second liquid lock here with a vacuum in the middle. That is the only reason for that. This is how this simple system here works. Alright, so I've now let it run for several more cycles. The hydrogen temperature is at like 90 degrees in here. The metal tiles are also up to 90 degrees. It will be another little while, but you can see once it's erupting, the metal tiles are heating up quite nicely and giving all that heat over to the water. It's just a lot of water. It'll take some time to heat up, but it'll get there eventually. That's for sure. Just a question of time. But, I mean, that is a really, really nice source of hydrogen right here. If we take a look at our hydrogen storage, we're back up to what, 70, 80 kilograms, something like that. Let's take a look here in the corner. That's usually a little bit more stable. Yeah, 75 kilograms per tile. We were all the way down to below 20. So yeah, I think we made quite a dent into that thing. That's great. Also up here, our natural gas. Are you back in action? Yes, you are. We still don't have a hell of a lot in there. Grams at best, to be honest. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we are pumping all that stuff over there. Are they actually running? Yes, they are actually running and producing power. And that's fine, they can. Now that we have that much hydrogen, we're going to let it accumulate a little bit, and maybe we're going to build another row. I don't know. We will see. We also have this petroleum here, so we may as well use that actually, and have a bunch of petroleum generators right here. Because here, we have now a tiny little pocket of steam. One tiny... How did this ladder get in there? Honestly, how did this ladder get in there? That wasn't there last time. Interesting. Not sure what kind of glitch happened there. But also over here, when we take a look at our cooling loop, the water is coming now back at 5 degrees. So this whole area here is slowly but steadily heating up. So I would say that was a really interesting episode, but there's still a hell of a lot more to come. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and comment down below. What do you think about this episode? I'm really interested about your input. But with that, I say thank you and peace.